Hello, hello, hello. It is Tuesday, back from the holidays. I got my blue light glasses on and going to get Benjamin on here in a second. And we are here to do our market update from your fave real estate agent and lender. So excited to get back on track to doing these every week. Hold on, I'm gonna invite Ben to my video. So everyone having a great Tuesday. It really feels like the 2nd of January, but hello, Sicky Poo.
Hello.
Ben's dying over there. So hopefully we won't be too long because I don't want to listen to him cough the whole time, but I was saying it feels like January 2nd right now, like the first week of January. It doesn't feel like it's the 7th or whatever it is. So
Does, yeah.
okay, so we're going to get started. I'm first going to do a little market update on what's going on out there. I did post a December video on my reels on my Instagram and Facebook. So if you wanted to get more in depth of what is going on, that is definitely there. But I'm just going to highlight a few things. So when it comes to inventory, which is new listings hitting the market or overall like what's available. King County is up 6.2%, which is awesome. We're still seeing more of a seller's market there. Pierce County is up 25.8%. So there is a lot more inventory going on in Pierce County right now. And we're starting to see a lot of dual markets, meaning that it's not favoring the seller or the buyer in some areas. So it's really important to talk to your agent about where some of those opportunities are. If you're not 100% stuck on location, you could really put your investor hat on and get out there and find some options. And then the other big thing I wanted to share was average days on market. We've had some sellers that think that their house is ugly or why isn't it selling or what's going on, because we've been in an environment where you stick a sign in the yard through COVID and it just sells. And so everyone is still anticipating that. And that is not where we are at or have been at. So if you watched our video a couple months ago, the average days were about 25 and they have increased exponentially. So in King County, the average days on market are 46. So that means that's what, until there's a pending offer, it's about 46 days. So and then Pierce County is 43. So if your home isn't selling in the first week, don't fret. It's still, you have about a month and a half before you gotta start looking at some things. Now, I will say, if you put your home on the market and you don't have any showings in 46 days or 43 days, then it's most likely condition or price or marketing. So those are some things definitely to check in with your realtor on. Hi, Marcy, and get a look into that a little bit further. So you definitely want still showings, and you want to make sure that that is happening. You're getting the feedback so that you know that you're positioned correctly in the market. So that was it for market update. And then let's get into our topics of what we wanted to talk about. So today we're going to talk about investing. So there's a lot of equity out in the real estate market right now that we could call people like house wealthy, meaning that most of their assets or net worth is in their homes. And a lot of people don't know what to do with it or how to access it. I've seen people pull it out and pay debt. Not always, there's so many different options that you can do, and Ben can talk about that a little bit more. But what I really want to talk about is, how do you go from having a home that has a lot of equity in it and you can't decide if you want to keep it as a rental, you want to buy the next one, but you don't have a down payment. What does that look like so that people can start building wealth? So I'm a buyer. I come to you and I say, Ben, I own this home. Okay. It's a 3-bedroom, 2-bath, cute little downtown Puyallup, okay?
Okay.
And I only owe like 200,000 left on it. It's probably worth 450 looking on Zillow, AKA because I'm a buyer right now. I don't know what that means, but that's what Zillow tells me it is, you know?
Okay.
And so I don't know if I want to keep it and because I mean it's just not enough space for me and my family. So I need to know what my options are. Should I keep it? Should I sell it? Would it make more sense to put that money down on the next house? How much do I need if I wanted to invest? I just have so many questions, so I don't even know where to start.
So I say the first thing you need to do is fill out an application and turn the light on, because you have so many amazing options in front of you. You could sell, like you just said at the end there, and take the equity of what was about 200 and something thousand dollars and put it down on your next house and, get closer to your dream home. Maybe has a pool, maybe you're, on a lake. Or you could keep the lower interest rates you have and turn this home into an investment property and use the income of future rents and qualify for your next home with one of the first-time homebuyer programs. So there are a lot of different options with that. I've seen people buy an investment property with 20% down. I've seen them go get hard money loans and buy a home that's a fixer-upper and then refinance into a rental and then make it their primary residence. There's just so many options when you're sitting on that much equity. And the number one key is just to turn the light on, do a full review, and then make sure that your goals align with what you have in front of you.
Okay, well, how much is the application? I don't know if I want to do that if
Don't cost
it's going to
anything.
cost me anything.
Well, they shouldn't cost anything to fill out. It would just be a running of your credit. And depending on what company you use, there's hard inquiries, soft inquiries. You can discuss with your mortgage person about that. But it does not cost anything to go ahead and fill out an application and turn the light on.
So what does that mean, like a soft inquiry or a hard inquiry on my credit?
Okay, so a soft inquiry, anytime you do an inquiry on your credit, it can blemish your credit up to a certain amount of points. There's a bunch of different types. We can save another credit video for another time, but you want to make sure that you inquire with your mortgage professional before you pull your credit, because people will call you and it's good to opt out and do some things. So that's another one for another day, but there are different options when pulling credit if you want to do a soft pull versus a hard inquiry that can kind of get started per se versus really just doing a full credit report now, so it does lower your score a little bit.
Awesome. Okay, that's good to know. So, if I don't have a down payment to pay on the next house, let's say I'm going to go two options
Okay.
here. Number one, I want to stay in my home, but I'm thinking about buying my kid a home that's going to college in
Okay.
Ellensburg, because, like rent's so expensive, we're just going to like move a bunch of their roommates in together and have them pay the mortgage. But I don't have a down payment for that. So, but I do have that 200,000 of equity in my home. What are my options?
So there are what's called HELOCs or second mortgages that you can look into depending on if you qualify for one or not. There's a really, really good one that you can get cash as little as 5 days, which is amazing. So ask your mortgage person on that. Give me a call and I can go over that with you. But there are many options where a co-signer, or what's called a non-occupying co-borrower, where you can basically co-sign for your kid in buying a home, and they can get the first-time home buyer benefits. So sometimes you don't even need a down payment to be able to buy a home, that you could start putting room rent right away in there, as long as it's a primary residence, and you can help them obtain that. And that also could help pay college back in the tuition because of what equity you could gain. So I think it's a really smart idea.
I love that. Yeah. I think that's a really, and you could do that out of state too, or
Yeah, we can do at any state. It
okay.
depends on the requirements in that state. Not every state has the first-time homebuyer programs. Every state has different ones. So inquire with your mortgage professional about what state you're looking at, and they can do the research for you on what programs are available.
Okay. Okay, so then we covered that. Now which I think this would be a similar situation, but maybe not with the co-sign borrower. I want to just start building my portfolio of rental properties, and I found this cute place in Tacoma. So, I wanted to just buy it, put people in it, rent it out, maybe Airbnb it. What do I need to do?
Well, the first thing I would do is find out where you're at. Turn the light on to find out what options you have. Are you going to rent your current house out?
No, I'm going to stay there.
Okay. So then you can look at what options you have on buying this new property. If it's just a rental property, it's a minimum of 20% down. If the home, like I said, is a fixer-upper, there's some really cool ways to do some hard money options, and maybe do like a DSCR loan, which is just based off of rental income and your credit score, not what income you make. So if you only make X amount and you only qualify for a certain, you can still buy a home with 20% down. If the debt ratio, the debt service ratio is what it is, qualifies, which is amazing. There's some really, really, really cool programs out there. So, there's just plenty of options. The best thing for you to do to start, though, like you mentioned, is fill out the application. Let's find out what resources and assets you can acquire, and look at maybe taking a HELOC out on your property to be able to purchase the next home is the option. If not, we can create a really good, solid plan so that you can acquire the next home for you in the next year.
Awesome. Okay. On that note, I was going to add, I did some polling of some properties. So I did 3 bedroom, 1+ bath, great, rentals that are either cash or conventional. So they're, obviously could do in Pierce County, there was 118 under 400K, and in King County, there was 181. So there are some opportunities out there for people to start investing in. The other piece is that my friend Edgar posted this the other day, but there was 8 duplexes under 800K in King County. So there are some opportunity, and you can buy up to a fourplex, correct, on a regular residential loan. So,
Yep. Yeah. And there is some new programs out there that allow you to go up to 5, 6, and 7 plexes on a DSCR
mm,
loan. Have the cash, and you currently are just an investor that's looking to purchase more properties, and you can't qualify right now under conventional financing, it's something you should look into.
I love that. Love that. Love that. Okay. So those are lots of different options. I think the highlight of what we keep saying is that to start anything is a conversation and an application to get your finances and situation looked at. Real estate obviously is the best investment for wealth, and where you'll see a lot of people put their money in, because real estate has, it goes up and up and up, and especially in Washington here. Even if you're planning on keeping it for the next 7 to 10 years, I'd say you're going to ride out any wave that you can. So I think that's awesome. And I know a lot of clients that have bought in homes even in the last couple years that have 50, 60, $100,000 of equity that they've already gained that they can put towards their future now and decide what their next steps are. So the last thing I want to end on is what are you seeing with mutuals? So like pending contracts coming over, what types of loans are you seeing people using? Are you seeing any seller concessions, meaning that they're contributing towards a rate buy down or closing costs? And are you seeing any multiple offer situations, or are they coming in under list or at list?
So a lot of questions at once. So I'll do my best to answer all of them in one swoop here. I would say that what I'm seeing is every contract I have received, it has come under list, and we got closing costs. I would say that the key to that, and I'm going to suggest something, if you've had a pre-approval in the last couple years and you haven't bought, I would strongly suggest you reach back out to your loan professional and your real estate agent and get a new plan in 2025, because the closing costs and 46 and 43 days on market for listings isn't going to last forever. That will come back down into 1, 2, 3 days going into probably this summer, if not towards the end of the year. And the closing cost that you're getting right now and price reduction you can get on a home will just be obsolete in the future. So to answer your question, what I'm seeing is I've seen upwards of 40,000 off of a property. I've got one under contract right now that came in 40,000 less, and they got 15 grand in closing costs. So that would be a total 55,000 swing. I've gotten closing costs upwards of $45,000 to do a 3-2-1 buy down, which is a phenomenal option that we should talk about on one of these. And I also see multiple offer situations on really good priced homes that come on the market on Thursday, and there's 5 offers. So I think there's a little bit of everything still in this market. And depending on how it's priced and where it's at and the price point itself, I mean, if it's under 400, you see a lot of multiple offer situations because that's a huge bucket of people that are looking to buy and try to create wealth. So I would say the loan program that I see the most would be FHA through one of the bond programs, because you do not have to be the first time home buyer. You can be a second and third time home buyer and use one of those programs, and the income limit's $180,000, upwards of, depending on the average medium income. So there's just a lot of great options with FHA and first time home buyer. And so that's the most used program on the market, I would say.
Okay.
But, I would say, again, I'm going to strongly suggest if you have not bought a home and you want to, get a plan together. Start now. Start 6 months in advance so that you're ready, because you do not want to come back at the end of summer and say, I'm ready. And then you're paying, 20 to 30 grand more and paying your closing cost.
I agree. Well, and most people aren't ready when they're ready. Like, there's got to be some things that they got to work through, and you're going to miss out on that opportunity of that home, whether, before having just your pre-approval and taking your time if you need to.
Yep.
So it's better to get that done. Awesome. Awesome. And that's it that I have today. So do you have any other parting words?
No, that's it.
Okie doke. Well, catch us next Tuesday on our live, and send us any questions that you have.
Thanks, guys.
Thanks.
Take care.
Have a good one.